What's up, everybody? We are live. Back on another episode of the Solar Objections Facebook group, and we have an update on the FFCRA from the last week or about 10 days ago. We had Figure Finance come on here, Travis Slade, and go over the FFCRA leave credit that is available for 1099ers from 2020 and 2021. That's still available right now. And we have a few updates, and I wanted to come on, have Travis jump back on. But first and foremost, this is Travis Slade with Figure Financial. What's up, Travis?
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
And we also have your buddy here, Joseph Horn, with Figure Financial, also, who's been more on top of the applications coming in and is going to help us out with a couple of updates too. What's up,
absolutely.
Joseph?
Happy to be here.
So I know people know Travis already, and he's a CPA. Are you also a CPA, Joseph? What do you do exactly?
I'm not. I've just been working in the tax industry for my entire career so far, and worked with Travis closely for the past few years. So I'm kind of his numbers guy.
Awesome.
Joey.
Appreciate you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Joey's a humble guy. He's deep in the numbers, and he can keep up with the tax code with the best CPAs. So lucky to have him on our team. And he's been going in depth in this credit and all the applications coming in. So happy to have him.
And the solar community is lucky to have Figure Financial help us in the community get what we deserve, which is lots of money available, up to $32,000 per, which is substantial in for anybody, anytime. So this is a great opportunity, and there is a couple updates. But before that, I want to just have Travis and Joseph kind of go over an overview again, what we're talking about, and who exactly is for. Is that cool, guys?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, I'll let you guys take the stage.
Yeah, so just to kind of reiterate who this credit is for, if you had 1099 income and you paid any self-employment tax in 2020 or 2021, you could be eligible for this credit. The other requirement is you had to have missed some time to work because of a COVID-related issue. So if you had self-employment income and you missed a week of work because you had COVID, or you missed a week of work because your spouse had COVID and you had to take care of her, or if your kids had COVID and their schools were closed, any kind of impact from COVID that made you miss work, you could qualify for this credit. So those two things, in simple terms: self-employment income impacted from COVID, you're very likely eligible for this credit.
And Joseph, I know that you were going over the applications. What have you seen, and anything we should know as a community to make sure we're doing the applications? And is this for every company, every rep, every person individually? Like, who is this for exactly?
I think the thing that really excites me about this credit is primarily a lot of the credits that the government releases are targeted at companies, businesses, and you're only going to be able to work with, businesses with 50 employees, 100 employees. But this credit is targeted and designed for individuals who were experienced by COVID to get the relief that they deserve. So for this one, what excites me is that there's not much to it. We don't have to deal with all kinds of corporate financial regulations, anything like that. What we need is to look at your tax return, and a very easy way to see if you qualify on the income part that Travis was talking about is if you just look through your tax return and you see that you have the Schedule SE, just take a look at line 6 for me. If you have a number there, you qualify, as long as you took some leave due to COVID-19 during 2020 and 2021. And it really is that simple. Nothing the government ever does is simple, but this time it is, believe it or not. So we're really excited about it.
Hit it with me again. The tax code and line 6. So where can they look really quickly to find this out?
Yeah. Open up your personal tax return, and if you just click through, you can look at the top left to see what schedule you're working on each page. If you find a Schedule SE, that's going to be your self-employment tax. Take a look at line 6, and that's the number that we actually use to determine your income and your eligibility for this tax credit.
Okay, just really quick, because there's a lot of confusion out there about the actual tax credit, because some people are confusing it with the ERC, and there was issues with the ERC and getting it and auditing and all that stuff. Just make the community's minds feel better. Is something totally different, and this is something that actual is happening and people are getting legitimately, right? There's no issues to worry about later. Let's put it that way.
Correct. This is an entirely different credit than the ERC, which some people may have a tainted taste in their mouth from. Entirely different, and as long as you answer our questionnaires and provide the information, you should feel very good in getting this credit from the IRS. So while it is simple, to Joey's point, we are making sure that the things that the IRS is requiring, we're getting those for you, and we're putting you in a very good position before the IRS to get this credit, and at the same time maximizing it as much as possible for you.
All right. Since we got you guys here, we get to hear from the horse's mouth. So let's get the community engaged here. Let's ask some questions. You guys have any questions? And there's no dumb questions. This is new to a lot of people. And if you don't understand something, if you have that dumb question, I guarantee there's going to be a lot of other people who have the same question. So go ahead, ask those questions. Go ahead in the comments right now. Say hello, where you're from, and anything particular you want to ask. This is your opportunity. All right. So we have one quick question. Travis and Joe, is that cool? We jump in there?
Yeah.
All right. Facebook user. If you guys don't want to use Facebook user, click on the bottom of the post where it says StreamYard link. You can actually give us permission to use your name. But if not, it will just say Facebook user. But this Facebook user would like to know, is this credit giving as cash? I'm guessing that's what they're asking.
Yes. It will come back to you. And assuming you don't owe the IRS money. So if you owe the IRS money and you get this credit, they're going to use this credit towards the money you owe them. But assuming you're all paid up with the IRS, when you file this, it'll get directly deposited into your bank account.
Okay, because this is in the solar community, obviously, we have something called the Form 5695 tax credit, and that's only if homeowners pay enough taxes, they get that back. This is not that. You don't have to pay any taxes. This is we call it a non-refundable credit, where no matter how much they're paying in tax, they're getting this money, right?
Correct. Yeah, they're going to get this refunded back to them.
All right. Another question here we got from Facebook user who was also worried about the auditing of the IRS. I think you already answered it, but just for this case, if you want to answer it again, will this leave you to be audited by the IRS?
So, no. Not getting this credit won't get a special audit from the IRS. But you never know. The audits from the IRS are random. So there's still a chance you could get audited. There's no guarantees you won't. But if you are, we have all the substantiation and the documentation that the auditors are going to need relative to this credit. So even if you are, it shouldn't be a big deal.
All right, you got another question here. Just gonna keep rapid firing you guys, and Joseph, jump in if you have any added input. So we got a question from Abraham Lozano. What's up, Abraham? Simply asks, is this for all 1099? Who is not eligible for this? Let's put it that way.
People not eligible for this credit would be people who take their self-employment income and run it through an S Corp or a C Corp. For those individuals, they would not be able to claim it. But for folks who do it with 1099s for other companies, or if they have set up their own sole proprietorships or are a partner in a partnership, they could qualify for this credit as long as their income flows to that Schedule SE.
Yeah, so the simplest way to think about it is going back to Joseph's earlier point of pull up your individual tax return, scroll down, look at the top left, see if you have a Schedule SE. S is in self, E is in employment. Schedule SE. If you got one of those puppies, you should apply for this credit.
And we also want to be clear that anybody can do this on their own, right? You can get your tax accountant, your CPA, you could do it yourself. Like, obviously it's complicated, it's taxes, and you have to know how to figure it out, and it might take time and energy. They can do that, but they could also go through Figure Financial. right? So those are the two options you're suggesting, Travis?
Yeah. So you can there's a form 7202. If you want to look that up, you can fill that out yourself, amend your tax return, or work with your accountant on filling that out. There's 100 line items on there. We've kind of done the hard work on that, on boiling it down to the points that you really need. So we're kind of the easy button and the correct button to do it, to ensure it's done correctly. But you could do it yourself if you wanted. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna kind of share my screen here and show what the application looks like. More of a questionnaire, if you wanted to make it easier for people to just make sure they know if they qualify and how they qualify. Would you mind just going through this really quick and maybe kind of explain why we need to know that? This is a little different than that last application questionnaire that we did. Can you kind of talk about the differences and why they updated it, Travis?
Yeah, Joe, you actually want to go through this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we had received from feedback from a few of our clients already was when they had filled out the application, they didn't really know too much about what was going on with the credit. And so we wanted to put these questions in at the beginning to kind of get people's minds flowing on what sort of information we're going to be looking for when we give them the second questionnaire and when we start asking more questions about the credit. So a lot of these things up here, these questions, the vaccine symptoms, the quarantine, the children, and if they had any childcare or daycare closures, all these questions are to get you thinking and so that you know what sort of information we're going to be looking for at our next steps in the process.
All right, perfect. So the eligible person fills it out. They click on this little button right here. Where is it? Right here. Would like to see the estimate, right, for the FFCR credit, and then actually fill this out. How much money you make each year, and how many days you were sick, you couldn't go to work, and you'll get your numbers right on the bottom of your estimate, and then you submit it, and then the team. What happens after that, guys?
After that, you'll receive an email from our team, and it's going to give you just a notification that we have received your application and you're in our system. But it's also going to provide you with 3 links. One is going to be to our next questionnaire. One is going to be to a form 8821. This is a form that we're going to file on your behalf with the IRS. It's going to give us access to your tax transcripts, and it's going to allow us to monitor your credit progress as we file it. And the last one is going to be our services contract with you guys. And actually, for the next 4 days, we are running a special where there is no fourth link. So after January 19th, you'll see a fourth link in here, and that'll be for our initial deposit of $150 to collect for filing fees. But if you sign up before January 19th, you will not receive this link. So that's a special that we're doing right now.
And that is huge. So every person watching right now, you still have until the 19th to fill out the application, which is on the bottom of the post that I put out there. Click on the link, take you right to the form. And if you get it in time, you'll have to save the $150 and find out for free. But obviously, this is not a total cost free thing. Before we get to that question, we have one more in the comment section I want to bring up. Facebook user, I want to know, retired people eligible for this credit?
If you made money on Schedule SE, then yes. So it depends. You could be retired, but maybe you have still a little bit of side work going or something. Then you may be able. But if you don't have any self-employment income, then no.
And
so
specifically for the years in question of 2020 and 2021, if you were working back then and then you retired in 2022, you can still get this credit, even if you're not working now. It's just about those years in question.
Good clarification.
All right. And Abraham wants to know also, what is the name of this credit? If one of you guys want to go for it.
And it has many names. So you may hear different things out in the marketplace. And it's actually a really good question. So this credit came from the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, which is a mouthful. So people say FFCRA. However, the FFCRA had two main stipulations. One was for employers, and one was for self-employed individuals. So sometimes you'll hear this referred to as the self-employed credit, self-employed leave credit, something like that. So it's all the same thing. It's this Families First FFCRA self-employed credit. Some variation of those names is what you'll hear it called. We refer to it sometimes as FFCRA or as self-employed leave credit.
Okay, so you guys aren't a charity organization. You guys are also making money on this, right? So how does it work for the people want to know, like, how do I pay? How do I actually just work out for you guys? Besides the waiving of the $150 application fee, which is happening in the next 4 days. So take advantage of that. But go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, so it's 20% of whatever credit we calculate. And if you pay the $150 fee, that goes towards your 20% credit. So if your credit's $10,000, our fee will be $2,000. So just a 20% simple calculation.
And they pay that out of their money. They get this money and then they pay Figure Financial. So you guys are just splitting what they're getting that may not even knew about before, right?
Yeah. So correct. Yep.
Okay, so just to be clear, to make sure everybody knows who is actually eligible for this, anybody who actually worked, who has the 1099, in 2020 and 2021, depending on how much you actually made and depending on some variables like how many days sick coronavirus you had and how many kids you had and the daycare, you're eligible for up to $32,000 through this FFCRA leave credit, correct? Okay.
Yep.
There was one more update I wanted to bring up here too, was that I want to make sure it's very clear that the 2020 portion of this FFCRA tax credit is disappearing in a couple of months and will not be eligible for anybody anymore after that. Travis or Joseph, you want to cut a little more depth into that?
Yeah, I got it. So the 2020 portion is going to be expiring on April 15th of this year, unless you filed on extension. I know I personally don't file on extension, and I know a lot of folks don't. So that April 15th date is going to be a really good one to keep in mind, just in general for people, because you might not even remember what day you filed your taxes on all the way back 3 years ago. But if you did file on extension, we're able to claim this credit for you up until the day that you actually filed your taxes.
Yeah, so if you're not sure, the safe answer is get this done by April. That's the safest way to make sure you get this credit.
And click on the application today, since you get it for free. So anything they else have to do to get that for free, like once they click on this application, is there the question they have to fill out to qualify for that $150, or do they just as soon as they apply now, they'll qualify for that?
As soon as they get the application, as long as they get the application submitted before Friday, they get that initial review for free.
All right. So you guys heard it here. You guys get your application in before Friday. They're gonna waive the $150 charge, and you'll be able to get the money we're talking about without paying any actual extra fees besides splitting it 80-20 with Figure Financial, which you don't have to do. You can actually just do it yourself and get the money. But Figure Financial takes care of everything. Make sure it's done the right way. You get as much money you're eligible for, and make sure you'll get everything that you're promised. That's a big relief, especially when it comes to our taxes. We want to make sure we do everything right, Jarvis?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, we're not trying to be super aggressive or risky with this. We're trying to follow all the rules, but also at the same time, trying to get you money that's out there, that's legit. So.
This is an opportunity right now for the solar community. Anybody who's 1099 in the last 2020 and 2021 have opportunity to get up to $32,000. That's your money available waiting for you. All you have to do is go ahead and grab it. So click on the application on the bottom of the post. You get a free estimate of what it's going to be, and then you'll get a free application fee waived by Friday if you do it. So I want to leave the last words to you guys. Joseph, go ahead. Any last words you want to leave with the community about what you've seen so far with the applications coming in?
I just want to say, so far, it's been really exciting to see some of the people that we've been able to get through our process and keep moving forward. I've spoken with a lot of these people directly working with this credit, and they're as excited as I am. Honestly, let's be honest, they're more excited than I am. They're the ones getting the money back. But it's really great for me to see these effects go right into people's pockets. So I'm excited about this. You guys are already paying taxes to the government. You may as well get the money that you deserve.
Yes, and the solar community definitely can use this right now. And imagine if we just helped 1,000 people get $20,000. I'm not a math whiz, but that sounds like a lot of money that's going to be able to help the community with. Travis, thanks so much for jumping on. Anything you want to leave off with the audience as we wrap it up here?
No, I think just sometimes I procrastinate things. Don't procrastinate this one. Just get on it. The sooner the better. Is in your best interest.
This is the FFCRA leave credit that is available to the community. We are here to make sure you guys know about it. This is Joseph Horn and Travis Slade with Figure Financial to help us out. Really appreciate you guys. We are out. Make sure you guys get on the application. It's free until Friday. Let's go. Later.